a lot of founders, I think, don't get started because they don't yet feel like they have the idea that can be the $100 billion company. So how important do you think it is to get the idea just right at the beginning, or to just get started with something and then figure out where to take it?
I am of the mind of just get started with something. And that's because we are funding companies at such an early stage that we're really funding the companies for the founders and for the attributes of the founders. Do they seem determined? Have they been able to ship something in the past? Do they seem, open-minded about things? Are they domain experts? A lot of times they don't get the idea right the very first time. They might be in the general vicinity of being right, but then they have to adjust their idea. Some founders totally fail with their idea and have to change completely. But I think it's more important to get started with something, build it, because your idea is always going to evolve. I mean, Airbnb is to me, one of the most famous examples of an idea that has evolved, right? They came to us with their idea, which was at the time renting out airbeds in your home while you were there during conferences. That's pretty focused, right? And then they said, okay, now we're going to rent out airbeds in your home, but not during conferences. Then it was renting out your own home. So it morphed.
And did all of that morphing happen during the YC program?
No, it did not happen specifically.
How long did it take?
I want to say it took about a year. I'm not 100% certain, but I remember what happened specifically was Airbnb was always very strict about the host being home so that they could provide breakfast,
right?
Because it was
Hence
airbedandbreakfast.com. And then the famous story is that Airbnb's one of their hosts was Barry Manilow's drummer, and he had this great place in New York City, and he contacted them and said, hey, Barry's going on tour, I'm going to be gone, can I just rent out my apartment while I'm not there? And the Airbnbs were like, oh, that doesn't really fit with what we do.
That's how they figured out.
That's how they figured out how to rent out whole spaces. And to this day, I think that's the majority of their business. But it took something like that to get them to even consider doing it.